Shalom. We are continuing the series, The Journey Inwards. I will properly title the video Part 4. And what we're talking about is uh, eliminating external distractions. And say, okay, yeah. So and you'll see me eventually. Right now, you can see my silhouette there if you can. I'm outside, but it's early, so it is a little bit dark. But we're talking about eliminating external distractions, and this is part 4 of the Journey Inward series. Why is it named Journey Inwards? Because I think it's a good title because taking the process of looking within, you could almost akin it to a journey. There's challenges along the way, and it's a whole process. It's a whole journey to really get to know yourself. If you don't know who you are or what's going on inside you, how are you going to bring that in alignment with the word? And one of the big hindrances or distractions to focusing inward is all the external distractions, things we physically see and physically hear, and will distract and pacify us. And a lot of times, those external things, it could be people, places, things, situations, stuff like that, can seem so real and demand so much of your valuable resource of attention that you end up neglecting the inner work. And that's the real work. That's the work that's going to bring forth true righteousness and everything like that. So the first um, uh, verse we're going to read is Philippians chapter 4, verse 8. Okay. Um, Philippians chapter 4, verse 8. And it's finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue, and if there be any right praise, think on these things. So you want to, um, whatever you're what are you programming yourself with? Okay, what are you programming yourself with? And let me preface that with let me make this point. Um, the when we say the journey inwards and looking within, it doesn't mean that's it and you cut everything off to no avail. You're still dealing with stuff externally. But typically, if I could kind of give like a number example or something, a percentage analogy, it's like people are like 80, 90%, sometimes more externally focused, and like 10, 20, maybe 5% internally focused. And the higher percentage you're externally focused, that is the more out of sync you're going to be, the more turmoil you're going to have in relationships and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Um, the more unease you're gonna have, you know what I'm saying, the harder it's gonna be to let things go, to shift how you're moving, to make changes in your life. The more rigid you're gonna be in your thinking, or in how you move in your spirit. Okay, so I just really want to put that out there and make that point. Okay. Um, Proverbs chapter 22, verse 24. Make no friends with an angry man, and with a furious man thou shalt not go. Okay? Um, Lest thou learn his ways and get snared to thy soul. So, again, what we're talking about in here is, eliminating the external distractions so that you're more able to get locked in. And the word is showing, don't make friends with angry people or angry man or whatever. Um, Lest thou learn his ways. Okay, you'll learn their ways. And again, a lot of this stuff. A good term to use is programming. What are you programming yourself with? Um, I was watching this thing with the new interest based algorithm that they have on social media. They say it causes more depression and suicide. If you don't know what the interest based algorithm is on social media, what it is the way uh, the social media underlying algorithm used to be is whoever you were following, you'd see that type of content, their content. So whatever channels you followed, whatever people you followed, maybe on Facebook, that's the type of content you would see on Facebook. But it changed. Now they have the interest-based algorithm. The interest-based algorithm is whatever you're tending to look at the most, that's the type of stuff they're gonna send to you. And what they've noticed is like people who are depressed and they look at stuff that will cause them depression, this algorithm feeds them more of that and it accelerates their depression. And it just goes to show, or whether whatever it might be you're looking at, it's going to feed you more of it. And with their goal is to keep you hooked on their platform. So it can be a vicious cycle. If you're mindful, if you're aware, if you're awake in your mind and you're not mindless, it's a powerful tool. Because, like, for instance, on TikTok was originally designed in China to be a very effective, efficient learning platform. They weaponized it over here, of course, in America, to be a distraction platform, a time wasting platform. However, if you if you know how to program the algorithm like I did, you can learn stuff so fast it will make, I mean, it's like rapid fire learning, and you can just pick something up so quick because you're things are getting explained to you from all these different angles. So it's amazing. But again, a lot of people don't use it that way. But getting back to what I said, these things, it's all about programming. The people you're around are programming you, whether you realize it or not. The things you watch, the things you hear, everything's programming you. So we have to learn how to, again, eliminate external things that are contrary to the direction we're going. I wrote something down on that. Um, I wrote here, remove or limit anything that does not align with your spiritual growth and development. It's imperative. Okay. And yeah, brother Ron says subliminal. It is subliminal the way they do this stuff. Um, you won't realize how, we'll call them time parasites, um, energy vampires, and like and all these different things, it's going to be hard to realize how the effect that these things are having on you till you remove yourself from them. And then at some point something might happen, you'll be around somebody like that or something like that, and boy, you could feel it. You could feel it. You know what I'm saying? I got, again, there's a situation going on. I got caught up in it, and it brought out these feelings and emotions that I hadn't felt uh, in a long time. Why? Because I have a righteous environment uh, that we've cultivated here, that I'm around. So the people I talk to uh, have, you know, just meek, humble. They have righteous spirits. The stuff I listen to is righteous because I really don't watch a whole bunch of movies. Typically, it's learning stuff. I'm watching maybe little documentaries on stuff. It's just the people I deal with are just righteous and at peace. You know, there's not a whole bunch of there's never really any debate and strife. Okay, so when you get around that, it's very noticeable when you remove yourself from it. And you know, we're going to go more into that. We're going to hit 2 Timothy chapter 2 verse 23. But foolish and unlearned questions avoid, knowing that they do gender strife. And like, that's one of the things, man, coming up through this Hebrew Israelite thing. Because like I said, I went on a show last night, and it was, I thought, I my my purpose going on the show, my intent going on that show was I wanted to just encourage people to look inwards. But this show was, and it was presented that, hey, this is how that's gonna roll. We're gonna edify, but it turned more into like a cross-examination type of deal. So, and it got to a point where I saw it wasn't, this thing wasn't about the word. It wasn't about the word. It wasn't about Yah. It wasn't about getting your spirit right. Because I like dealing with stuff where, hey, if you pass away tomorrow, did this help you? Is this something that's gonna, you know what I'm saying? But when I see it, it's just stuff that I've seen in the past, fruitless debate and discussion and argument. Bro, we done. You know what I'm saying? Um, even in our assembly here, our Nashville assembly here, uh, if I have to go back and forth a couple times with somebody, I'm already working on dropping it and getting up out of there. You know what I'm saying? Because again, you're gonna see when how critical it is when you begin doing this work. This is the rubber meets the road spiritual growth and development work here. This is the true core of working your salvation out with fear and trembling, is looking at the dark areas within yourself and what's operating in you. Spirits could come in there and be, you could be demonically influenced in areas and stuff like that. And it's critical that we deal with these things so we can perfect ourselves and be righteous. And it's delicate. Maybe delicate isn't the right word, but it's meticulous work. Maybe there's a word for it, but it's very critical work. It requires focus, concentration. It requires all your resources and faculties and abilities that you have. And again, like I said, the most valuable resource is your attention. Second most valuable resource is your time, and you don't want to waste those on fruitless endeavors. Okay? So like I said, y'all heard what we read there in Timothy. 2 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 5. Examine yourselves. See, and this was, again, I went on this show last night, and that was the intent, to encourage brothers, or to encourage people to examine themselves. Second Corinthians says, examine yourselves whether ye be in the faith. Prove your own selves. So again, one of the things I've been saying in a lot of these, in some of the episodes I've been doing in this series, is, bro, you got to work your salvation out with fear and trembling. You got to prove yourself. You got to make sure you are purified. Okay? You have to make sure of that. Okay? You don't want to waste time pointing the finger at other people, because that's not going to work your salvation out with fear and trembling. Okay? Um I get it. People will come back with um uh because there's always, hey, you come back with a scripture that kind of justifies your position. So they'll be like, uh, have nothing to do with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather expose them. I agree with that. Okay. However, what really need the when you read through this book, the main thing is working your salvation out with fear and with trembling. And listen what it's saying. Work it out with is fear and trembling. Like, let's think on that. Why with fear and trembling? What would make you be fear and trembling? Well, when you really begin to meditate and look on the fact that you're gonna pass away, and in this world, in this carnal world here, you're gonna be forgot about before it's gonna happen so quick that you're not even gonna be a thought in people's mind. Even in your children's mind, they're gonna move on. You're gone. Like they say, you're dust in the wind. Okay. And yeah, you gotta put your stuff in the back. Yeah, so you're going. You're dust in the wind. You're forgotten about. And you know, only place you're going to be remembered is on Judgment Day, when you're answering before the Most High. So what do you want that legacy to be? Do you want it to be, well, I pointed this person out was wrong. I pointed out this person's issue. I did this. I made this amount of money. Or do you want it to be, yeah, I searched myself. I purified myself. I really dug in deep to see the wickedness in my heart, and it humbled me and made me, patient dealing with other people, and I was a light to other people because of the work I did within myself. These other people saw my these other people, without me even talking, they saw the righteousness in me. You know what I'm saying? So that's what you got to think about. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, let's keep reading though. Let's see what else we got here. So going back to what we were reading, that's 2 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 5. Examine yourselves whether ye be in the faith. Prove your own selves. Know ye not your own selves how that Jesus Christ is in you, except ye be reprobates. So this is something that you really got to be paying attention to know that Jesus Christ is in you. All right. So we're going to read about the way people can be out here. Like this verse here, Romans It describes a lot of mindsets that you don't want to be associated with. So it says, and even as they did not like to retain God in their knowledge, God gave them over to a reprobate mind to do those things which are not convenient, being filled with all unrighteousness, fornication, wickedness, covetousness, maliciousness, full of envy, murder, debate, deceit, malignity. I'll read the definition of malignity. Malignity is a noun that means the state of being harmful, dangerous, or full of intense ill will towards others. So that's malignity. Whisperers, backbiters, haters of God, despiteful, proud, boasters, inventors of evil things, disobedient to parents, without understanding, of the affection, implacable. Implacable means very strong feelings of hostility or disapproval that nobody can change. Okay, so very strong feelings of hostility, approval that nobody can change. So it's hard, just rigid. You know what I'm saying on something. Okay, unmerciful, who knowing the judgment of God that they which commit such things are worthy of death, not only do the same, but have pleasure in them that do them. So that's something to really read through the mindset of these people. And I'm gonna keep it 1,000. That's not just the heathen. Sometimes that's people who know the word, but they don't have it internalized. They don't have, um, you know, knowledge of it to put it into action. Okay, and they don't they don't retain it in their mind. Like one of the things I talk about a lot is in the midst of these situations where it's emotionally charged, where those feelings are on the surface. Okay, people will, when they're presented with it, they will choose sin to give full vent, unrighteous vent to their emotions. And it's not a sin to be angry. It tells you, be angry, but sin not. And if you read that word, it says, don't let the sun go down on your rage. Like if you look those words up in the Greek and see what they really mean. And it's saying rage, because rage is anger acted upon in an unrighteous way, in a way that doesn't line up with the word. But again, these are people that these are external things that you want to remove from yourself. If it's coming from people, you want to remove that, okay? Because if you're around that, when you take the journey inwards, that's stuff you're going to be dealing with on your journey inwards. We're going to read 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 4. No man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please him who hath chosen him to be a soldier. So it's like, you good, Emmanuel? Yeah. Okay, you locked in, huh? Oh, okay. That he may please him who have chosen him to be a soldier. So no man that warreth entangleth himself. That's just like the Bible verse, we battle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Y'all know the verse. It's a spiritual combat. And I'm telling you, I'm going to say it again. I went on that show last night to tell people to go to war inwards and not waste your time going to war outwards. Compel people to war inwards and stop focusing them on stuff in the carnal world. When you go to war with stuff inwards and you encourage people to go to war with stuff inwards, they're not going to get distracted by carnal things. They're not going to war with flesh and blood, with man. These spirits are attacking everybody. Does that make sense? You feel that? Yeah. So that was that truly was my intent going on there. But, you know, the intent on that show was, hey, they had their agenda, their thing that they wanted to really get in on. And I'm just telling you, I can show you where it's not edifying to saints. And I'm not saying it's wrong to expose something. And like I said, I'm not even getting caught up on that, but just think like things I see. There are videos where I will expose the error and things and stuff like that. And have nothing to do with unfruitful works of darkness, but rather expose it. But that's not I say you should be doing that 10% of the time, and the other 90% working your own salvation out with fear and trembling, because you become whatever you meditate on. Whatever you're focusing on, that's what you're gonna become. That's what you're gonna be. That's what's gonna be your mindset. So if you're focusing on something externally, what you're not doing is focusing internally. And that goes back to first removing the log from your eye, then remove the beam from someone else's. But I would have you, if you remove that mote from your eye, you really ain't gonna, you're gonna be real apprehensive about worrying about like a little toothpick in somebody else's. You know what I'm saying? A little splinter in someone else's, okay? Don't pour your energy or attention into situations or relationships that drain them. Don't waste it. It's a waste of your energy. It's literally like just pouring it on the floor. It's not gonna do anything for you. It might give you a quick dopamine hit of satisfaction, but you still the same. You haven't changed. Once this is done, you will have more energy and attention for more fruitful endeavor. So once you stop pouring your energy and attention into situations and relationships and people, places, things that drain them, once you stop doing that, you will have more energy and attention for more fruitful endeavors like the journey inwards. Y'all, I'm Michael Israel. Appreciate all y'all tuning in. Shalom, shalom.